Alright, I moved the camera angle slightly on the handlebars. Is that too much sky? Did I do too much? Testing handlebars. 1, 2, 3. Looks a little bit much to me to have the sky showing. I may adjust that back down a little bit. Let's see here. Still maybe a bit much. All right, position number 2, camera angle. May still be too high. I don't know. Maybe you prefer to see more of the sky rather than my torso. All right, so just randomly, it was showing cylinder deactivation, and I don't know why. Well, there it showed it again, right there. So does that mean it's working? When I do that, is that how y'all's works? Is this what it does? It did it when I was slowing down. I'm gonna go back on the video and see if it was doing it while I was riding. That's what it was doing before. All right, when it gets down to the bottom, it turns it back on. If I rev it, what is that like? Oh, it says cylinder activated. Is that cylinder activated? So maybe it's working correctly, but none of you told me that yours did that. Let's see. I posted a question about this like last summer, and people told me that theirs did not exhibit this behavior. But now I'm wondering. Maybe I misunderstood. I'm going to read the owner's manual again, see if it says anything there. So it's not doing it. Now before I was in third and fourth gear, and it was doing it last summer. I can't really stare at it while I'm riding, so I might just look at it on the video, but last year when I would take my hand off the throttle, let's see, if I let the RPMs go down, but I keep it in fourth gear, what's going to happen here? I'm not sure I can actually do that. And I never would have done it, so let's see if I bring the clutch in. All right, I got the clutch in. All right, fourth gear. But well, that's activated. So fourth gear, bring in the clutch, let the RPMs drop. It says cylinder, and then if I go back, all right, maybe it was just activated and not activated, and I misunderstood the warnings. But of course, the dealer could have told me this when I brought it in. Instead, they made up 3 to 5 things wrong with my bike that they said needed to be repaired under warranty. Kept telling me they had submitted it to Indian, which if you've heard the rest of the story, you already know that after weeks of waiting on the dealer, stalling, telling me they were waiting on corporate Indian, I called Indian and they said there was nothing ever submitted on my bike. And I don't think there needed to be. from what I'm seeing here, it might be working just as is intended. So the qualifications, I'll put them up here because I looked them up, but I don't remember them by heart. The engine has to be at operating temperature, which it should be. The outside temperature has to be above a certain number, which was a fairly low number, and we are. But the thing was, I thought you had to be in first or second gear and below a certain number of RPMs, and I'm having it come on in fifth or fourth gear, but only when I play around with the RPMs dropping. Let's see what it does when I downshift here. All right, see it's on, and then it says activated as soon as I give it more throttle. So I think it's turning on and off based on the RPMs. The thing that I think might be wrong is the fact that I'm in third or fourth gear, even fifth gear, when I let the RPMs drop, and it's still doing it. So like I'm in fourth right now. If I pull in the clutch, let the RPMs drop, cylinder, and if I let the throttle out, or clutch out, if I put the throttle back on, all right, cylinder, all right, cylinder activated. So I think I probably misunderstood this a year ago. I think it's probably working as intended, aside from the fact, see that keeps giving that message. And of course, not to be rude, but when I ask questions in the discussion forums, hey, is this how yours works? Does it do this in third and fourth gear even when it's not really supposed to do it, I think? Well, bless God, I don't use cylinder deactivation. I prefer to have all my cylinders all the time. Okay, duly noted. Could someone answer my question? Well, why do you use cylinder deactivation? What's it good for? Yeah, could maybe somebody answer the question I asked? All these bikes with their new technologies. That's why I prefer my XYZ. Great, duly noted. Can somebody respond to the question? So it's like, stay focused on what the question was, and if you don't have anything to contribute, maybe just pass it on by. Maybe you do this to people. I've had to bite my proverbial tongue and my keyboard and say, you know what? Even though I have an opinion on this, it's not what they're asking for, and it should work, right? I would love to fly my drone over all this. Just not a good place to stop anyway. At least not on my motorcycle. I'd prefer to be out here on my vehicle. I'd pull in or off somewhere. But it's like, when I've asked this on a couple of different forums last year, I got people's opinions about cylinder deactivation, whether they use it or not. Just turn it off. That was another answer. It's like, I don't know why. Maybe it's a man thing. Men feel like they have to like lecture what they think about the topic, rather than I can't. And the honest view would be, I have no idea, and I have nothing to contribute. But because I so badly want to type and tell you you're an idiot for using cylinder deactivation when I personally don't, that's what I'm going to write instead. So anyhow, I was pretty sure I read the owner's manual back then and hit the internet, but maybe I missed something. I think I might take some of this and post a fresh video on it. Turns out it may not be anything wrong with it at all, except that I don't think it's supposed to do it in third and fourth gear. I think it's supposed to be first, second only. But if that's the only issue, then maybe I'll just drop it. I think that's what it is. I think it's saying when it's on and off. The cylinder is on and off. Because like right here, activated. Activated. Cylinder deactivated. All right, I'm going to take a little break here. Get off the back a little bit. I might read up a little bit more of that. Okay, I'll see you in a bit on the road. All right, guys. I stopped here to check out the cylinder deactivation. And I'll see if I can post some of the info right here. And if I read this last year, I don't remember it, and I don't remember processing this sort of info because it answered my question. So I am correct that based on this criteria, I've met all of the criteria except one. It says it has to be in first or second gear or neutral. And I see these messages coming on when I'm not in those gears. We just practiced, it's fourth and fifth gear, just tested it. All the other criteria are met. Now, normally you're not going to be in those lower RPMs in third and especially fourth and fifth gear, but it is showing that it's deactivating even though I'm not in those gears. So I might explore that just to see if anything. Now, my question to some of you is, if you use this, can you tell cylinder deactivation is on? Does the bike sound different or feel different? I haven't noticed a difference if the cylinder's not on. I just sold my Super Chief Limited recently, and it had the same feature. I can't remember, honestly. I think I actually cut that off on that bike at one point. Don't even know why. It didn't bother me when it was on. This, and I never noticed those messages when it was on. I had the fancier ride command screen. This is the not ride command. So anyhow, I met all of the criteria, and it does say for 1 second it'll show cylinder deact, and I'll see if I can show the relevant point here that I'm talking about. And when it re-engages, it says on. So my thing was shifting up and down. I was seeing the message last summer. I'm not sure if I have a video. I probably do. I can go back and look on my own channel. But I think that's what we're talking about. Now the dealer's answer to me was they all do that. And if you don't like it, turn the feature off. He didn't tell me that was a normal feature, a planned feature, and here's the differences. They said they all do that. It doesn't work. Just turn it off. And not only that, they told me that I needed a new front wheel sensor, and that's why it wasn't working correctly, and a couple of other things. There was 2 things with a front wheel sensor, and there was something else, both that they were going to submit to Indy and get and they didn't. They just kept lying, saying they had. So now, mystery solved. I think it's okay, but I'm going to explore this third, fourth, and fifth gear issue, being that I have it on tape. Okay? I'll see you on the road.